Hello and welcome back to LEGO City Undercover. This is Enchanted, and today we have a bit of exploration to do. On the way to being banished to the National Park. So let's do a little exploration. Right now, once we've got to the area we're going to explore, of course. I quite like this vehicle, as I mentioned before. It's chunky, but it doesn't feel too cumbersome to actually use. So while we're here, we're going to be exploring this area that we've been kind of neglecting a little bit. Because there's quite a lot of interesting stuff here. Some of it fairly varied, some of it a little generic, but it's an interesting enough area. I quite like the mall as the kind of focal point for the whole thing. So let's get a few basics out of the way first.
Such a nice person.
And yeah, I completely forget to that's where the explosive machine is. I'm a complete idiot on that one. I literally didn't know where it was, even though I saw it just then. I don't know what happened to my brain there, but whatever. At least now I know where that is. There's a lot of stuff that's like hidden in around the mall itself. That's something I intend to do in a bit because I wanted to get this train station first. Because as you can tell from the position of that, that's a challenge that I'm going to need a train station to be able to come back easily for. More on that when we actually do that challenge. Something I quite like about a lot of the things we can do with this area, or in general with a few of the tools, is it feels very Lego-ish because there's a lot of completing unfinished projects, like that hotel sign. That I'm having a bit of trouble hitting right now. But like things like painting that hotel sign, for example, are a very interesting thing you can do in this game because it feels very appropriate to the LEGO universe, and it feels like you're being constructive, like you're finishing building something that's like a project that's long neglected. Maybe a little pretentious, but that's kind of how I see that kind of thing. Yeah, there's not really a lot inside this room. Not really anything to break, not anything to really do anything with. Except for that brick there. It's just kind of... It's nice you can go into the hotel, there's just not really a lot of point. And the rotating things are just kind of a pain in the ass anyway. The revolving doors, that's it. I like them in real life because they're kind of fun, but in-game they're just a little cumbersome to use. Yeah, you may have guessed this first half of the video is pretty much collectibles. Because there's a lot we can do here right now with as much stuff as we have. That really escaped me. Some of this stuff's kind of well hidden here because it's right around the edges, and yeah, there's actually multiple ATMs in some areas. Which is interesting. It kind of feels like they ran out of places to put them a little bit, but I kind of like that they're always in places that make sense, like right next to a large shop, that kind of thing. It feels pretty good. It feels like you can always have an idea of where you're looking for them. This area is kind of a pain in the ass right now because I forgot where the dynamite was. Because there are 3 things to blow up here. That's just too many. So, here we go. So this is the vehicle challenge for this area. This vehicle isn't bad, it's pretty nippy.
Sorry.
The main problem is it's a little bit flimsy and a little bit slow, but there we go, we've got it where we need to go. Because I'm starting to cut these out now, you have a good idea of how the elements strings together, so we don't really need to show every single route anymore. Yeah, that was a Sedan, a rather nice little car that I'll never use again, but it's nice it's there and that I can potentially ride it if we ever need to. Yeah, I'm just coming up here for dynamite because again I forgot where it was in the shopping mall because I'm a total idiot. I am a boob.
Does she like me?
And there we go. In here, we have a thing to paint. Let's take care of that. And around this corner, we have a thing to break and build, which is pretty neat too. Like when you put multiple things in a single place like that, it makes it feel more, like it matters more to the overall world, even if there's really nothing there. Like, that's pretty much just a straight line with some collectibles in it, but yeah. It's the thought that counts. I quite like this teleport to get you into these little, these parts of this building. That's pretty neat idea. And I quite like that all of these are kind of hidden inside buildings as well. Unlike a lot of the things that are hidden in plain in the streets, it can be easier to find where these are because you can at least tell we're meant to be looking in buildings. Which buildings haven't I been in yet? And yeah, another one over here. There are a lot of space buildings in this city. And here we go, let's actually move on a bit now. Heading towards the mission objective at the National Park. We're not quite there yet. We still have a few other things we can do on the way with our colour gun. These flowers look distinctly colourless. I quite like that we're getting them to match the other side of the bridge. That's pretty neat. The part with the symmetry of that.
That cat doesn't like.
Yeah, there's a lot of character tokens we can get along the way. You may have noticed I got only a few things in a few of the buildings in there that I didn't actually finish the character tokens in the mall area, but that's because there's just some buildings I can't go into yet. And that area was getting a bit long in the tooth anyway. So I can come back to finish that later. We've at least got a good chunk of stuff. I quite like that they also have fairly easy character tokens like that, just to kind of keep things going. If you want to get some things earlier in the game. It's a nice way of keeping exploration rewarding throughout the entire game, keeping easier things in certain places compared to others. These statues are kind of a pain, only because I forgot precisely where the thing spawned, so I did them in a fairly long in the tooth order. But it's a use of the colour gun. I quite like the whole museum aesthetic. Like making the statues the right colours, that kind of thing, to finish the exhibits and things. It's an interesting idea. Even if it's a little underdeveloped.
Yeah!
But yeah, that spawns at the back. That was my mistake. So let's go grab that. I quite like the museum. It's a decent set piece. I like that a lot of these areas have their own little set pieces. It makes them distinct. It makes it easy to remember which area is which. Although King's Court can be hard to kind of remember where that is, because you don't really go there much. It's just kind of a transit area for the most part. I mean, it has big buildings, but they're hardly on the way. Like, they're not really filling the field of view like the museum is here. Like, Blackwell Tower is just kind of off behind a few other buildings, so it can be easily missed in the grand scheme of things. And there's a somewhat blocky car that has you. That pun was not intended. Let's take the bus. That was a pun. Because we're taking the bus. Well, yeah, Blackwell Bridge we're actually very close to finished with. We only have... I may be misremembering, we'll see. Leave them right there, we'll see.
Ouch!
I was right, yeah, we only have one more thing to get here. That was me being a little bit of a buffoon. I did this a while ago, I kind of forgotten I did this here. Part of me had thought it did it later, I don't know why, but we only have one more thing to do here, so let's do that. After we've made use of all of our spacesuit here, we'll have got everything on Blackwell Bridge, because we got a load of the stuff with the boat earlier, which is why I did that when I did, because otherwise this area would have been a massive pain to explore, because, as I explained in that episode, boats are really hard to come by in this game. But there we go. Now that we have claimed it and conquered it, Blackwell Bridge is now completed. The district's conquered thing tends to come at the highest points of each of the districts. So generally it's a good way to find them is, what's the tallest building? Can you get there? And how? So here we are. So let's report to the sheriff, shall we? In this tiny little blue number that I quite like. I like a lot of the vehicles in this game, although the cumbersome ones can be a little annoying to drive. Well, that was pretty swish parking.
Chase! Hey! Hi, Frank. What did you do to get sent out here, then?
Are you sure you're a qualified plumber, honey?
Of course!
Ah! Honey!
Nothing?
That's right, deputy. I got you cornered.
Huckleberry's in
It's
trouble.
just you and me.
Frank,
Because I
I'll
sent
take
your
the
boss on
front.
a wild
You
goose
go around the
chase.
side.
After wild goose. Say, oh. Prayers?
Oh, sorry.
Hey there, Chase. We're just finishing rehearsing our play.
Okay.
You gotta do something to fill your days around here. Nothing exciting ever happens.
The front door was locked?
Calm down, Derek. Don't worry, you two. Your chief warned me you were coming, and I've drawn up a work roster. Frank, you'll be in charge of making sure we do not run out of coffee.
You can trust me, Sheriff Huckleberry.
And Chase.
I broke the coffee machine.
Derek! Language! Well then, both of you be rounding up Farmer Hayes' escaped pigs. His farm's to the south of here. I'd go myself, but it's curtains up tonight, and I still don't know all my lines.
We're on it. Come on, Chase.
For some
Let's go
reason,
see
that
the
Derek
animals.
language joke always
It's not
gets
a petting
me.
zoo, Frank.
Right. The sooner we find those animals, the sooner I can get back to finding Rex.
Hey, look! Horses! Do we get to use them?
I guess. Can you ride a horse?
It depends. Are these ones stick shift or automatic?
Maybe you should just walk.
See you later!
I mean, I know it's kind of a dumb joke, but I do enjoy the Derek language gag because I think it's because while it is a silly fart joke, it actually has context to it. In that they've already contextualized his little chittering as his own kind of language that's understandable. To the chief, anyway.
Really weird looking butt.
You're sat facing backwards, Frank.
Oh! That'd explain why he didn't like it when I fed him that apple. Thanks, Chase.
Frank.
See you at the farm.
But yeah, I think it's partially because of the context it gives it, where it's like, okay, it's established that Derek's chittering is in fact kind of a language, and then the whole Derek language scolding thing at the fart makes it that it adds a kind of structure to it in that the fart, now we understand that is the squirrel's curse word, that's not just a fart. For some reason, the context behind that joke, always whenever I replay the game after a long time of not playing it, gets me giggling like an idiot. Don't know why. It's just a very powerful effect on me. Way more than it should be.
Hello there, sir.
Oh, at last! You have to find my pigs.
And this is why I became a policeman.
They're mountain pigs. Incredibly rare. I'm going out of my mind with worry.
Going?
Have no fear. This is Chase McCabe. If anyone's qualified to find your pigs, it's him.
Thank you, honey. Well, they shouldn't be too hard to find. It's not like they can fly.
Well, they're mountain pigs. They could be anywhere.
Ah! I better stay here. In case they come back.
Fine. I should be looking for Rex Fury.
You'll need to look
I
like
like
a
the mountain
farmer.
pigs, they're kind of
They'll
cute.
run off. I got some spare overalls and a hat you can borrow.
Great. Thanks.
I used to wear them to muck out the pigs.
Oh,
Then, I locked them in a cupboard because they stinked up so bad. And, well, buried the key in a field for safety.
right.
And now they're haunted.
You can use my old tractor to plow up the key if you like. Might need a spot of repairing, though.
This time, for some reason, it was the another haunted line that got me a little bit there.
Looks like it needs oiling. Only
This is the timing.
I can't think where I left the oil can. I'd need to retrace my footsteps to figure out where that oil is.
So let's do something we haven't done for a while. Retrace our footsteps. Well, his footsteps anyway. I also quite like the ridiculous sound effects and how more and more unhinged the farmer's getting there as well with describing the overalls. Especially that moment where his eyes are kind of facing in different directions for a split second. I always kind of find that a little amusing. I think it helps that I really like Steve Buscemi, who kind of patented that look almost. Kind of his thing is having those really big, strange eyes. So yeah, this is actually our like official, not quite official tutorial on it, but it's kind of a formalizing the effect idea. And it's the only other time we'll ever use it, so.
The key will be in that field over the track.
This part's a little bit annoying because this moves very slowly and does not corner particularly well, as you'd expect of a plow. And it's not quite as fun as the one in GTA San Andreas because you can't run over pedestrians with it. That's amazing, that mission in that game, being able to run over all the gang members trying to stop you. Just, dude, no, I'm a plow, move. But yeah, this is kind of finicky because we have to hit every single one of these stops.
My Uncle Duke's place. How's it going?
Well, instead of searching for Rex Fury, I'm searching for a key to some overalls which smell so bad they were locked in a cupboard. And I'm doing that so I can catch some pigs.
Oh, well, you can probably use your audio scanner to find the pigs.
Oh, well now everything's okay.
I'll call you later.
Thanks for the reminder, Ellie.
Despite Chase being a really nice guy, he still just can't help but snap at this moment. It's just like, oh! That's just a pretty great little reaction there. No, everything's okay. Now, you may have noticed my sound quality is a little different in this one. It's because I bought some mic covers, so let's hope that sounds a lot better now. But yeah, there's the key finally, now that we plowed it up. There we go. But also we have stuff to break here. Because in the 3 of these, there is a thing we can build. It tends to have a bit of a tell in that they tend to be the isolated ones, but even then there's enough isolated ones that it can be hard to find exactly what you're looking for, but we're looking for enough of them that contain a scarecrow, 3 of them to be precise. Again, they're almost always isolated, the ones that have the actual scarecrows in them, but it's always still a pain to find them because of just how big the farm is and how small they are. They're so tiny compared to the size of this expanse, and while it helps remember they're all in fields, there's a lot of fields. Half this area is fields, and this area is the size of any other area, but it feels much bigger than every other area. It's huge to explore, especially when you're on foot. It's honestly my least favourite area. It's the least fun to explore. I kind of ignore it until I have to use it in most of my playthroughs. We've noticed our colours for this session will be blue and yellow. But now we have a new disguise on top of that. The smelly overalls. With them we can garden, because we're gardeners now, we're all farmers, but yeah. In this game there's... oh, there is a difference, but yeah, not used much. Mostly it's watering plants we use them for. So let's switch to them and see them in action.
These don't smell so bad. Oh, wait, no, it just hit me. I better find these pigs then.
And with this we have a new collectible type. The flower beds. Those are kind of cute, I like them. And they don't take long to do as well, so they're not overly obnoxious. They're often kind of behind buildings, that kind of thing, or in some cases on rooftops, but for the most part they're just kind of behind buildings on ground level. They're fairly easy to find. Although like that one, they can be somewhat well hidden at times.
So, you were saying you've really seen a UFO?
Oh, yeah. I saw this weird, unearthly light, and then I got sucked up into their spacecraft, where they did strange things to me.
Oh, what kind of things?
They probed me. You know, I mean, they asked me real searching questions.
Oh!
Then they stuck a machine.
La 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 la, can't hear you. La 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 la, can't hear you. Not listening, not listening. La 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 la. You stop talking.
That part's kind of cute, I like that.
Hey there.
See, it both subverts and then plays straight that joke. In a way that's honestly still fairly child friendly, and you kind of know what's going on, really. But it's not like explicit enough to be weird about it. So yeah, we're actually going to use the audio scanners here, so we can actually find the pigs. Luckily this is the only time in the game we have to actually do this with these pigs, for the most part. Well, that's kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but suffice to say, these 3 pigs are the only ones we need audio scanners for. So it's not too bad. I just don't like the scanners in general in this game. They take way too long, and holding the Wiimote up to the TV is physically painful because of how heavy it is. That's why in Captain Toad, for example, I only ever used the analog sticks to control the camera in the minecart levels, because yeah, most of the pigs are on rooftops like this. And then of course you ride them to where you need to get them, which is fairly cute too. So they kind of count as a vehicle in a way.
Not so easy to find, are they? Betsy does love getting up to mischief.
The second pig can be quite tricky actually, because it can be a little weird to get some of the things to trigger. At least when I was doing my practice run of this game, I had trouble getting it to do what it needed to do. But here, we actually have the final train station. So let's take care of that, shall we? I left this one to last because it's quite expensive and very elaborate, but I really like this one because it's very unique compared to the other train stations. But yeah, now travelling around the city is way easier. Because now we can fast travel to every district, which is very nice. Now we've completed the train network, we actually get a prize. The train changes to Emerald Knight, or as I like to call it, the Hogwarts Express. This door I'm having trouble with, but there we go. There's actually quite a lot of stuff on this train station as well. And yeah, this isn't how you get up there though, that's miles away. No thing can get us that far. So we'll have to find another way up to that statue later. So let's actually get to that pig now that we've dealt with that detour. That was just necessary for future reference. So let's see where it's gone to. Cheeky thing. Just swine. I like the way he kind of rotates on the plot like he's on a Lazy Susan or something like that. But yeah, this pig is over by a puddle that you actually can't see on screen there. That's kind of weird. The camera was in an odd place there. But here it is over here in this little muddy puddle. This is the part where things get kind of tricky with this mission, because sometimes a thing that needs to happen here doesn't quite trigger correctly. And for some reason, on my last playthrough of this, getting that thing, the detective thing, to trigger properly, gave me a lot of trouble. I don't know why, it just wouldn't actually trigger the way it should have done. But now we're actually successfully following the trail. Let's see what we get from it. And from by extension, how we'll actually wake up the pig. Ah. We're going to annoy it. So let's take care of that now, shall we? He mentions you kind of have to have the overalls on, but that's really only for one stage of this. You can actually ride the pigs wearing any outfit. There's just one stage of them that we haven't seen yet that requires the overalls. Here I'm just using this as a shortcut, smashing through these to see if any scarecrows show up. Again, because this is just a bit faster than walking, I figured while I was on something quicker, I'd at least check. And it paid off, there's one. I like the music of the farm, it's pretty cool. It's like the pig riding music is always this as well, which is pretty neat. It's quite relaxing music and I quite like it. It's a very nice little chill hoedown kind of a thing. Not quite hoedown, but yeah. Chill farm music that I like.
Nice job! Filbert's always getting into trouble, aren't you? Silly pig.
Filbert, stop clipping into your sister.
Coffee.
Oh, and if you're looking for that Frank feller, he went up to the castle. Said he heard a distant oinking.
Okay, so let's follow that lead. On the way, though, might as well get this taken care of, shall we? We finally hit double-digit super builds too, as well as unlocking a nice, heavier vehicle, a Torsion. That just makes me think of poor Blister. Referring, of course, to Celebrity's Metroid LP with that one. But that's a story for a different LP entirely that he told in that one, so I recommend watching that one, that's really good. But here we go, a little hop and jump over here. And careful not to accidentally ride too far and bounce off the entire area.
King coming from somewhere up high. So either one of the pigs climbed up this castle, or whoever lives here has one of those weird laughs. Oh.
I quite like the repeating crescendo that splits faster and faster as you water those vines. That's a really fun sound effect, the way it kind of pops more and more high-pitched and faster way each cycle.
Sure, Frank. I'll aim for your head.
It's weird how squashy it is. My doctor says I should wear a helmet at all times.
For some reason that just reminds me of that one joke from Sabrina Teenage Witch where she gets turned into a doll
right,
by
Frank.
Amanda and
There's
she
a
first
pig
shows
asleep
up.
up here.
Woohoo!
Now, how am I gonna get you back down?
Weirdly, in that show, in the later series, Harvey Kinkle was actually kind of awesome. He gave him a lot more to do, and I quite like that. But yeah, this pig's going to be a little more complex. We have to find 2 fruits to wake him up. Only one of them's actually close by. So let's get in here. Well, when we find the right outfit. And we have a bunch of apples. We only need the one though, so let's pick it up and put it in our little trough. I kind of like him dreaming of fruits as well. That's a cute little touch. It's in a little thought bubble. Do Lego pigs dream of plastic fruit? Apparently so. I guess plastic fruit must dream of silicon sheep. I don't know where this joke's going. So here we go. Up here to the top of the tower. And quite a long chicken glide. These can be a little tricky, because if you misjudge them, especially the longer ones, you can often end up falling just a little too short of the next one, which can be very frustrating because the hitbox is only around you and not the chicken. So if you barely miss it, the chicken hits the thing, it don't actually count, which is really annoying, and feels like it should count. But here we are, let's water this pile of studs, and grow our second tree. And with the astronaut's outfit, we have a little shortcut on the way back as well. This is kind of a weird thing, 'cause it's not often that the warp pads only have like one way. Normally there are 2 ways, but there we go. So let's drop down and put this in the trough too. That was just me considering whether I could do something. I probably can't, so forget that. That will be later. There we go. And while we wait for the pig to wake up, let's take care of that as well while we're up here. And just generally make a few shortcuts. Yep. We found our primary mechanic for the pigs now. This is fairly funny, I quite like this. This is what we need the farmer for the pigs. Is actually activating this cannon. Because it specifically keys to a chicken's feet. Nothing else will turn it.
Thank you!
How did you do that?
I fired him out of a cannon.
As if. I'll believe that when I see a pig fly. Wait a minute!
I like that, that's cute.
Hey there, Chasey. You want a job?
Sure, as long as it doesn't involve riding animals around.
Then I got bad news, because it kinda does.
Really? What is it?
Is someone I know wants the giant robot Tyrannosaurus Rex stolen from the museum.
A Tyrannosaurus Rex? Who, would want that?
My private buyer. But trust me, he's nobody you'd want to meet. He's starting to be a real... Yeah, I shouldn't say. Just give me a call once you got it out of the museum.
Sure thing, Vinny.
Oh, this is gonna be sweet. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.